this is Edo here for another Let's Play of Phoenix Wright Justice for All. Here with me is Nightshade.
Somehow I think the hard stuff is not going to fix this.
Yeah, so there's a lot that just happened. We found out about something, an accident that happened 6 months ago. It's a lot of information, and...
Things took a turn.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I kind of think I know who it is. It's just how we're going to freaking prove it. It's going to be very, very interesting. So let's do it.
December 30th, 9:41 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 5. Happy
Good
New
morning,
Year.
Max.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, sweeties.
You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today.
I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it. Regina.
Oh, tee. Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk.
Regina!
Oh, fabulous! My sweetie pie princess! You came to watch my performance today?
Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this.
Mo said that?
So, what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end?
She really has no idea about the outside world.
It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties?
Huh?
I think my sweetie pie the princess doesn't...
Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on, or even where she is.
Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today, I'm just a member of the audience.
Fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there.
Good luck, Max. You're the best.
Regina's different, don't you think, Nick?
Top of the morning to you. Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go?
Momo.
Top of the morning to you, governor.
Top of the morning.
That's a ticket. Attacking the day starts with energy in the morning. The early bird gets the worm, but then again, worms lack higher brain function. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk.
Dude, what's this thing with milk?
Oh my! Thanks.
So how are you today, right?
Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real culprit.
You mean Acro?
Huh? You think he did it? And I thought that too! God dang it.
Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line. Literally. He's got guts to spare.
If all I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm used to it already. It just means that I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses. Oh gosh. Is this the thing where I can't press people?
What are you going to do then, Nick?
I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychology warfare.
Psychological.
Psychological. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth.
You're right. But it's gonna be tough. Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father.
See, that's what I was wondering too. She's just in a big denial.
You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes, that's why I brought her here to court today.
What's that supposed to mean?
She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars.
December 30th, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 2.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Very well. Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case.
The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events.
What's the meaning of this?
We've had discovered a new witness, or shall I say a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime.
Order! I had a feeling something like this would come up.
Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders.
Poor Gumshoe.
Very well. Please call your witness to the stand.
Time to get to work. Or, shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. Freaking birds! Where did that bird come from? Name and occupation.
Ken Dingling, but every morning calls me Hackrow. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Berry Big Circus.
Where were you the night of the crime?
I was in my room that night.
If you look at this map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene.
My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window.
I'm trying to take a look at it, because, yeah, they would both see it from there.
The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you've witnessed?
Okay. Witness testimony, what I witnessed. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from the outside the window. Then, a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's what it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming.
This witness's testimony matches up exactly with the clown.
If that's the case, then there is very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night.
Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness.
A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did.
Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony?
In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened.
Very well. You may proceed with your cross-examination. But...
Cross-examination, what I witnessed.
The birds!
So I'm allowed to press?
I think right now you're not in danger, but I think the clue was pressing won't do you any good because he's good at it. But, yeah, go ahead. We'll see.
You said that you were resting in bed. One would thus assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct?
That's correct. But there are safety lights around the outside of the lodging house. It's so bright, sometimes it can make it hard to sleep.
If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains?
I never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains.
Haha, sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers.
Do you now? Do you now, Judge?
Ow!
The witness will proceed with his testimony. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right?
Yes,
And you said that you were resting in bed.
that is correct.
But you were still able to hear a sound from outside?
I was indeed.
Pressing aggro doesn't seem to get results. But maybe something was contradictory in what he said just now. I don't feel like there's anything wrong in that. But I'm afraid, am I gonna get penalized?
I mean, if you say there's nothing wrong, it's basically you desist and nothing
What's
happens.
the matter, Miss Wright?
Nothing, Your Honor. Until I can find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly. See, she got her whip ready. A few minutes later, I saw something. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a large action figure.
Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible.
You have no need to mince words with Mr. Phoenix Wright. Testify to the truth, and only the truth, just as if it were there with you that night.
I believe it was a human.
Damn, I just strengthened his testimony. I wonder if Acro's statement jives with the fact. Jives! Wow! What a, I say the same thing. I think it's this one. This is the one I have to... This is the one I have to press. The light in your room was turned off then, right?
That's true. I was going to bed after all.
So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window.
The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside of my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses in the front. On the front.
Did you see any of the other symbols?
Oh.
I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica.
The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there was something fishy with the latest bit of testimony. This is the one I think. This is the one. There's a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence.
She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction?
Oh, that's right. We're back to the same thing. It's the hat, because the hat was found at the scene of the crime. You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that?
What do you mean?
The silk hat.
What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window.
Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night.
That will have been quite difficult considering the state I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was tough enough challenge for me.
That's a shame, because you would have not noticed the silk hat found on the scene.
That's the ringmaster's hat, right?
Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat.
Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has 2 silk hats?
No, this is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica, which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand.
Order, order!
As always, it looks like someone had just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up.
How about, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today?
guess we're going
I have to.
quick and hard.
It's hard, but it has to be, dude. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion?
Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of?
Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry.
Mr. Wright, are you serious?
Deadly serious, Your Honor.
I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book.
Really?
If you don't believe me, just look at the witness.
I'm sorry. I'm just picturing, like, every time it goes to him, like, there's more animals. Like, there should be squirrels coming and, like... and then, like, a fawn or... I don't know why. That's the picture I keep imagining.
He's calm enough for it to almost be scary.
The bird isn't pecking... Why? The bird is pecking his head. He's staying rather calm and collected.
Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation?
I don't really need to say a thing, do I?
What do you mean?
Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house.
That's true.
I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things...
See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous.
She's right. Way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man.
Phoenix is a poopy head!
See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well? I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice.
What do you say about this, Miss Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice?
No one could have done it. As everyone has been... No, he couldn't have.
Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice.
Not this time, Von Karma.
What?
You're not going to sucker me into this one.
What are you blabbering about, Miss Wright?
There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself.
Order! What are you getting at?
Way to keep them on their toes, Nick.
Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry.
Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that?
I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed.
All right, then let's do it.
Mr. Phoenix Wright.
If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right?
Miss Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingling?
Why is his name Dingling?
Why not? What do you got against Dingling?
Well, he has to be in the room. That's a big Earth. He's obviously here the entire time.
That's Acro's room.
Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can be only one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster.
What? Are you nuts?
What say you, Mr. Dingling?
And here comes the birds.
Go pack him some more. It's an interesting theory.
That's it.
Considering that what you propose is impossible, yes, that's it.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there's no way he could go to the scene or be the killer.
You've got a point.
It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he?
But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly.
Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright?
What is it?
I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed them? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume.
How did he do it? It's the next course of this legal buffet.
Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here...
She's right. I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Echo killed the ringmaster. And he did it while he was in his room. No doubt about it.
Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright.
I'm going to present some evidence.
So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Mary?
It has to be... Wait, no, where is it?
What are you looking for?
Oh, do I have to go by the picture?
Of what?
The bust, remember?
Yeah, it's
it's right here. Okay, I was like, wait a
It's
minute.
the Max G bust. Not sure why it got moved, but whatever.
What's that? A picture?
It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture.
The bust?
It's quite a large bust, and because it is life-size, it is also very, very heavy.
Heavy?
Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death, especially if it were dropped from a third-story window.
The birds, they flew away.
See, this is how Acro was able to kill the ringmaster, with the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. Wow, he had to say it that way, didn't he?
Order. So you're saying the bust fell onto the ringmaster?
A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit.
How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible.
Well, Acro is an acrobat, which means he's got upper body strength. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust.
Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges?
Well,
Acro's at a loss for words.
He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro, you can't run away from the— Ow!
I'd watch what I'd say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? Your Honor, the physical health of this witness is material to this case. I demand we get proper testimony from the witness himself.
Testimony, you say?
Karma. She's just using this testimony as a rouse to stall for time. There's absolutely no need for such testimony.
The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond.
The defense objection is overruled.
Why can't he see things my way once in a while?
Mr. Dingley, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony.
The witness will have no problems, however. Let's all be respectful towards him.
Thank you.
Ah, that woman will sink to any low to win a case.
Witness testimony, Acro's physical state. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it will be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think?
I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony.
It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself off far enough to look. Not to mention that he could have not known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries.
That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Miss Wright?
I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination.
He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really.
Can't let her get to me. I've got to focus.
Cross-examination, Acro's physical state.
Can I press everything, or
I think it will ask you if you want to go forward before you get penalized.
Have you ever lifted up the bus before?
No, never actually lifted it up on my own two hands. But I shall get to it, don't you think? Can't let money outdo me on this.
Money? That crazy monkey has lifted Max's bus before?
Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingley.
So what have you been doing to keep in shape?
Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope.
You don't say.
But, no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything.
Neither am I, Phoenix Wright.
I wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke. I mean, Nick.
Whoa, how did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden?
I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear?
Hey, boo boo boo. And why is that?
Because if I were to do that, I'll end up falling out of the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet.
So you couldn't have thrown the bus out of the window?
How long do you think your recovery will take?
You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation. But it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%.
Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bus, he would not be able to see out below the window.
Why do you say it would be impossible?
Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bus, I couldn't see out below the window? Thus, there is no way that I will know the location of the ringmaster's head.
Well, I suppose you've got a point.
Hey, Nick.
Huh?
What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it sort of like this. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust.
That does make sense. If only I could prove somehow. That Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down.
I think I've already explained things sufficiently.
If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all.
If all I had to do was drop it. You're right, I could have done that. However, there is no way that I could land a direct hit on the ringmaster's head.
So that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright?
Acro is strong enough to lift up the bust.
The main problem is how he could have aimed for the ringmaster's head.
I wonder if he used some kind of tool to aim for the ringmaster.
That's the ticket, Nick. Show them what you've got.
I have to be careful. I have to find something that fits perfectly with the case.
I don't remember us finding any sort of tool. But maybe we overlooked something.
We did, and I know what it is. I guess I could choose either or, huh? Yep,
Possibly.
we're choosing the box. Let's go. Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you?
What are you driving at, Mr. Wright?
You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add.
You silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence?
But I did such a good job hinting.
Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright.
Maybe you should take a look at this. Hey, I showed the box, not the picture. But oh well. The key point here is the wooden box.
The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over?
The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here?
Who?
When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box, which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime.
I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense.
The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear.
You mean...
If the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box,
There would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim.
No!
Order! This is unbelievable!
Here we go. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here. Forward.
So the next question I have is, who placed the wooden box at the scene?
It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and all he had to do was lower it down.
Ow! Allow me to put some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix Wright! Ow! The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box.
That's why the box was so specially made.
Specially made?
Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. That'd be the weight of the box. The box has a remarkable weight.
Weight?
According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds.
Just to lift up this wooden box would have required...
Oh, I see. One would have to squat down, then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say?
That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large.
The box also is carrying handles on either side, doesn't it?
That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. That's why he was hunched over, which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place.
Fool!
Uh-oh, birds. Birds mean trouble. Does he
Go pack him.
even bother to listen to me anymore?
I've heard what you've had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills.
Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza?
Mr. Wright might have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing.
What?
Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bus?
I remember. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria.
Then what happened to it?
I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright.
Crap.
I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself.
That means...
You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bus from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bus from the cafeteria to my room?
Oh, I know the answer.
You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there's no accomplice.
Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. But this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all.
All right, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room?
This seems ridiculous, but it's the monkey. It's the monkey, isn't it? Because he said about how strong the monkey was. And he loves shiny things. And it did look shiny. I think it's the monkey.
A monkey?
Everyone knows Money. He loves shiny objects of any size.
Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's wing.
So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own and then brought it back home.
Home?
Money lives in Acro's room.
Acro's room?
But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny.
Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record.
Oh, snap!
But I also don't really read it either.
My, those are some very nice cards he's holding.
Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bus back to your room.
If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'll be on the market for a new roommate.
That's true.
Order, I said order! Miss Von Karma, where is the bus in question at this moment?
I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak.
This is rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bus. What would have happened then?
Well, in that event, something else would have been used as a murder weapon.
Wait! Then you mean this bus was the murder weapon? Purely by accident?
It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Agro was the murderer.
Moron! Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Ow!
Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. Ah! There's no reason to doubt the clown's testimony.
That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright?
Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were 2 people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw?
Here we are again.
It has to be the bust, because that's what he saw fall. Which would make sense.
This is a very ominous silence.
I think it's gotta be the bust. I can't see anything else being the answer. I hope I did this right. He saw Max's... Ow! I asked who is the other person Mo saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. Au contraire. Mon frère? It doesn't...
You got it.
Yeah! We're learning French. It does indeed have something to do with the
Except,
question.
I would like to point out they typoed frère. It's the wrong accent.
Oh, really?
It's the other way around one.
Oh, okay. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw.
How is this possible?
It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw was that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bus. It would be easy to hang one of the cards in the bus's hands. Idiot! Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? It doesn't matter who put it on the bus.
Just wait a minute now, Miss Wright. Who put the cloak on the bus? The question is of utmost importance in this case, don't you agree?
Oh, he caught me.
So let's have it, Miss Wright. Who put the cloak on the bus?
Oh, criminy.
I mean, if you think about it, there was still some...
It had to have been Russell. Right? Because... Because remember, Max was in the office with Russell. He stepped out, but when he stepped out, he had to take in his cloak and hat, right? So then when he got hit, perhaps the cloak went on it? That kind of sounds ridiculous, but that's, I mean, it has to be his cloak. It has to be the cloak that he took, not obviously Max himself. Yeah, we're going with it.
We're doing it.
The fool. Him?
You're saying it was the victim himself? Russell Berry?
That's what I'm saying. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust. Placed the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it.
And what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright?
Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all this? I'm fine, Maya. and finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright, so you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Alright. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window, directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. See, I remember! But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet Ben and Trillo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bus hit the victim, his cloak flew.
You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this isn't true. It can't be.
It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. The circus isn't over yet.
Oh, snap. What?
The impact of the bus on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. The impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls, the clown. When Moe looked out of his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Moe saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because, in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out of his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. And there you have it. That's how he flew.
Wow.
And that is how the magical murderer disappearing into the sky came to be. Dang. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could only have been you. Damn those birds.
Acro's been playing mind games with all of us.
He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now.
So?
What now?
You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true?
Your evidence?
In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my whip.
Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence?
Nick, they say they want evidence.
I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. There is still something unusual about Moe's eyewitness account.
Unusual?
A contradiction, actually.
Okay then, use that and get out of this jam.
That's enough talking amongst yourself. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case.
I think I have to go back to the hat because See, it's like I want to present this, but I'm trying to figure out why I have to present this. I mean, it's the same thing. It's the fact that Mo had said that he saw the hat on the cloak, but the hat was found at the scene of the crime. This is...
It's a tree bar penalty.
I think it's the hat, because it's that same idea of like, well, the hat was found at the scene of the crime, but he clearly saw it go up. So obviously it has to be the bus. As for the other part of his outfit, the roses, they didn't see because it was behind. I think it has to be the hat.
Are you doing it?
I think it's the hat. I think. The problem is Max's 3 symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses.
Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings.
Yesterday, there were 2 contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions.
You fool. Do you ever shut up?
Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime because he was wearing it. However, remember what Mo said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. It's the bus. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bus. Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense, if you look at it that way. Then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of.
Fine, you've got fun, but what about the other contradiction?
The other contradiction?
Remember what that ventriloquist said in court. He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. The clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick?
Of course, I can explain all of it.
What was that?
Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bus. If the cloak snagged onto the bus, what happened to the white roses? It's the roses that snagged, I guess. Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bus, it means that the white roses would have ended up on the back of the bus. Which explains why Mo didn't see them. White roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bus.
Order, order. This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let us just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads.
Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Karma will finally throw in the towel.
Or just
Yeah.
wiggle her finger like she knows better than you.
Well, so much for that theory.
Mr. Wright, do you mind?
What is it?
You took the time to research our circus, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't?
If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track.
Why is that?
Motive. This witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Thus, there's absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Akra's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Akra deeply respected the ringmaster.
Akra's motive.
It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess.
Holy moly. I know why. At least I think I know why.
Would you like to save your progress up to this point?
Hell yeah. So, like, I think I know why. I think I know the reason why he did what he did. So, I guess in the next episode we will. I guess we're finishing this, huh? We're finishing this.
Yeah, it's about time we wrap this up.
Yep.
Yes.
So this was Phoenix Wright, Justice for All, with me and Nightshade.
It's nice to not have a very difficult voice to do.
And with that, we are out of here.
Bye!